So today I'm going over to my grandma's house. I don't know how long I'll be there, and I don't know when exactly today I'm going to get my writing done, but the chapter that I began writing yesterday, I didn't get to finish. I wrote like 12 pages in that chapter, and when I'm rewriting a book that I've already written, as I am in this case, and the book doesn't need a lot of polishing, I can write a lot more words in a lot less time than I usually do, and so that's why I got 12 pages done in a relatively short amount of time, and then my wrists start cramping because of carpal tunnel, which is really fun to deal with, so I had to stop in the middle of an action scene. I didn't really want to leave off there. I really wanted to finish the whole chapter, or at least that whole scene, but I knew better than to push it, so today I'm hoping to pick up where I left off and finish that really important scene that I was so excited for, that really helps move the story along. Also, I woke up today to find another rating was left on Goodreads. It was a 5-star rating this time. A winner of the Goodreads giveaway gave me a rating and a review on Goodreads as well as on Amazon, and I am so thankful. So thank you so much for that. The Amazon overall rating right now is really high because I've just gotten positive reviews so far on Amazon, and we're working on getting the Goodreads overall rating up a little bit because I have more on Goodreads. But anyway, I am just so happy. There is nothing that makes an author feel better or more happy than being told how much a reader loved their work that they have spent so long working on. And just the idea that even though my book has not gotten out to that many people, all things considered, especially in comparison to some of the books that I like to read that are traditionally published, I see them and they have a much bigger reach than my book and a lot more readers and a loyal fan base. And I just look at that and I hope that that's me one day. I hope that this is the beginning of building up a loyal fan base, but to know that somebody, a stranger, read my book and they loved it is just the greatest feeling in the world. And I hope that this will be the first of many people who are introduced to my books and who love them. But thank you so much for leaving that lovely review and telling me how much you loved the book. I love to hear that, and it's what makes all of this, the good and the bad, just worth it. So thank you. I don't really have anything else to talk about. I'm trying to get more consistent with filming, so by the time you're watching this, obviously a week will have gone by if I upload on time, but I just filmed my last update yesterday, so I don't really have anything to say today. But yeah, that's the plan. Go visit my grandma, and then I don't know when I'll get to my writing for the day, but I will get it done even if I have to do it not at my usual time. Other than that, the weather outside today is just absolutely beautiful. I am so happy. We've been able to have the windows open for quite a few days, especially in a row, and if you know anything about me, you know I love when the weather is nice enough to have the windows open, and I'm hoping that it continues. The weather forecast looks like at the end of next week it's going to start getting too hot to have the windows open, and I'm pretty bummed about that, but honestly this has just been a fantastic stretch of weather. This is what spring should be in my opinion, and we just usually don't get that here. It's usually too cold or too hot. And right now we've just had a stretch of really steady weather where it hasn't been flip-flopping, and I am just so thankful, and I hope we can squeeze in a few more days. I hope we can squeeze in as many days as possible. I'm just absolutely loving this right now. Hi, hello. It's been a couple of days, but as you saw, I managed to make my iced coffee, so that's nice. It's kind of disappointing. I mean, it's basically exactly like the iced coffee I used to buy from the store, so I guess in that regard, I made it right, but I don't know that I'd necessarily do it again. I certainly wouldn't do it with the coffee that I used this time. I basically bought the cold brew sample kit from Kittytown Coffee, which you buy coffee and you also help feed homeless cats in shelters, which love that. So I used the Rafiki coffee, and I love the Rafiki coffee. It's my favorite coffee right now. I've been drinking that hot when it was cooler, and now that it's not cool anymore, I haven't been drinking it. So I used that because that was what was recommended in the how to make the cold brew coffee blog post, I guess. And it's fine, it turned out okay, but I might, if I do it again, use the cold brew that actually says cold brew coffee on it that came with this sample kit, because I just don't want to use that much of the coffee that I absolutely love to get a subpar end result out of it. Like, I don't know, it's not bad by any means, but it's definitely better hot, I think. So it's a lot of trouble really for what you get out of it, so I might make it again, who knows. But anyway, we've got all this cold brew coffee in the cabinet, we gotta do something with it. But it is not cold outside anymore. It's not even nice outside anymore. The days, sadly, of having the windows open are gone. I think, at least mostly, they're gone. It'll be a rare, few and far between day that we can have the windows open moving here on out. We've got heat coming, we've got the humidity probably coming with it, which I love so very much, but regardless, I am grateful that we were able to have the windows open as long and as many times as we did. Basically the whole month of May, back to back to back, we were able to have the windows open, and I'm like, is spring actually my favorite season? If spring is like this, because most of the time the springs here are not anything like this. We've got lots of severe weather. Even if it's not severe, it rains all the time, it's cool. Well, it wasn't this time. It was just absolutely perfect, and it was really dry, and I really loved that. So I'm still continuing on working on my pirate witchy YA fantasy. We've crossed the halfway point. We're now definitely delving a little bit more into the political intrigue aspect of the story. It's going really slow though, because this is, as of right now anyway, this is the longest book that I've ever written, and so it's taking a long time, but I'm trying to enjoy it and not rush. I'm also feeling like I'm not writing as much because I'm not rough drafting, I'm polishing up the draft that already exists. Most of it I don't think needs any work, so I can write a lot more words in a shorter amount of time than I usually do, and because of that, I feel like I'm not doing as much work because it doesn't take me as long, and yet I'm actually accomplishing more in a shorter amount of time, so I have to keep that in mind. I don't want to push myself too much because of my wrists hurting. The block of vacation time that I had combined with the holiday, I was writing every single day, and under normal circumstances I don't write every single day, so there's also that. But it's going well, I think, and the reason that I say I think is because I wanted to talk a little bit about imposter syndrome, that thing that most people, if they write, probably deal with at some point. Imposter syndrome isn't something I've actually dealt with that much. In comparison to what some people struggle with. I mean, we've all got something that we struggle with, some insecurity or other, and I've certainly got mine, but it wasn't really imposter syndrome. And now that the book is out into the world, now that Lightbringer is out there, I'm questioning some things that I was previously pretty sure of, and I don't like that. Basically what happened was I got some reviews, I'm not going to go into it, but it made me question some things like, what if I'm really not good? What if the book isn't good? Because if it was, then people wouldn't be saying that, would they? In reality, what actually happened, I think, is that the people that read the book were not the target audience or the ideal reader, that thing that everybody talks about that seems so damn hard to define sometimes. They're not the target audience, they're not the ideal reader, and I think that's why they didn't like the book. One of my reviewers who loved the book, who left this really sweet review, and I'm so grateful for it, she loves reading YA. It's very clear. This book is YA, she loves YA, she loved the book. Now that's not to say that that's going to happen every single time. I love fantasy and I love historical mystery, and I don't love every single book written in those genres that I read. But if you do love the genre, you're obviously have a higher chance of loving the book that's in that genre than if you hate it. For example, I am not the biggest fan of horror. I read some of it, and some of it's okay, but because horror is not really my cup of tea, I'm less likely to like a horror book than somebody who loves horror. Same thing with romance. So I'm trying to keep that in mind, that it's not that I'm bad, it's not that the book is bad, it's that it's not yet reaching its target audience. And I think that if we can do that, we're gonna be okay. It's just going to take longer than I'd like, and probably even longer than that. And being patient is very difficult. It's not that I expected to see immediate success. If that were the case, it wouldn't have taken me 13 years to get here. But I guess I expected a little bit more, and I just have to resign myself to the fact that it's not happening yet. That doesn't mean that it never will happen. It just means that you have to be patient, and you have to keep going, and you have to do the things that are proven to work. You have to keep promoting the book, get the word out there, get it in front of as many people as possible, and be patient above all. When people say that writing is a marathon, not a sprint, they really do mean that. And it's just something that's really difficult for me, I think because it means so much to me. If I didn't care so much, if it didn't mean so much, then obviously I wouldn't stress over it as much as I do. But because it does, I do. And part of it, I think, is that I really want writing to be my full-time job eventually. I want that to be my career. It's the career choice that I chose for myself when I was in 7th grade, and it's what I've pursued ever since. And I feel like I didn't ever have a plan B. I put all of my eggs in one basket, and if it comes to find out that the basket has a hole in it, I don't have a backup plan. And I think part of the stress also comes from the fact that I live where I live. I live in a place like where Sarah lives, and if you've read the book, then you know. There's not a great deal out here, and as far as opportunities or chances to make money, it's very limited. And I think that that kind of suffocates me sometimes. This isn't something I want to go into a great deal because I don't want to like complain or to be negative. That's not what I want. But there are all these factors, I guess you could say, that are putting pressure on me in different ways. And again, if you've read Lightbringer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's another thing. This book is probably more personal to me than most of my other books, and that's, I think, partly why I care so much about this book. It's been a part of my life for so long. I created the world when I was like 5. So it's been with me, a part of my life for 20 years. And so, of course, I love this book. Of course, I want it to succeed. And the fact that the very first book that you publish is going to be your guinea pig, so to speak, and that it's kind of an experiment and you're still figuring things out, I don't like that, but I also realized that whatever book I chose to publish first would be that book, and I published Lightbringer because I believed in it and I thought it was finally good enough, and if I thought it was not good, then I never would have put it out there in the world at all. As much as I want to make money from this, telling the stories that I want to tell is more important. Obviously, unfortunately, in a way, you need money in this world in order to live, and there are no gates for me to go through. If I could do that, that would solve all of my problems, but it is what it is. But ultimately, if I'm not able to tell the stories that I want to tell, then there's no point in doing this, and that's why I pursued the path that I did. It's because it allowed me to tell the kind of stories that I wanted to tell in the way that I wanted to tell them. But I guess part of it is that you're gonna make mistakes. No matter how much research you do, you're gonna make mistakes, and that's just part of it. And I tried my hardest to avoid making as many mistakes as possible, and I just have to kind of hope now that the mistakes that I did make aren't going to be insurmountable ones. But enough about that. If you want to know more about like the situation and how the book is personal to me, I guess I would say read it. I put a lot more of my personal thoughts and feelings and circumstances into this book than I do my other books. Like, I don't self-insert. None of my characters are based off of me. But if there was one that was based most on me, I suppose, just given her circumstances, it would be Sarah. But my proof copies for book 2 should arrive today, and I'm super excited and eager to see it. I don't anticipate anything going wrong in terms of the map or bleed or anything like that, because I think we figured that out with Lightbringer, and if the solution worked for Lightbringer, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work for book 2, because they're the exact same trim size. So, but we will see. We'll see if everything looks good. I ordered more copies than before this time, just so I could get them to the people who have graciously offered to help me proofread again as soon as possible, even if the map is slightly messed up. Like, that's not something that's going to impede their ability to proofread. And so I'm planning on reading through it myself after I'm done writing my current project, because I don't really want to read them at the same time. But I'm giving myself and the people who have agreed to help me more time than before to get all of this done. It also helps that IngramSpark doesn't have any upload fees. Now, if you upload the book and 60 days, I think it was 60 days, if 60 days goes by and then you need to upload it again, then you are charged. But this is a big help. It's a big reassurance to know that I only had to really go through that struggle once with Lightbringer, and then hopefully it'll be smoother sailing here on out. So hopefully we can get all of that stuff squared away and before I have to even think about dealing with IngramSpark again. But yeah, anyway, it's just been a little bit rough. I've had a lot of things to think about, a lot of things that I'm questioning that I didn't really ever think that I would question, but I'm trying to stay positive and above all trying to stay patient, because the book hasn't even been out for a month at this point, and it feels like it has. I think part of the other problem is that people put so much pressure on the release. You're told that your release date is your most important day, and you have this feeling in the back of your mind that if you don't nail it that day, it's game over for your book, and possibly your career. Like, you know, you start spiraling and you worry about all of these things. That's not necessarily true. Like, part of the reason that you pursue self-publishing, or at least one of the benefits of it, is that you don't have a shelf life. Like, the shelf life in bookstores is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I talked about this in a previous vlog. It's not good. But on the internet, there is no expiration date on your book. And there is no expiration date on your dreams either. Okay, guess what just arrived? So the books are here. I have not opened it yet, but I'm going to do that right now. I can't show them on camera because I haven't revealed the cover yet. However, shameless self-plug here, if you want to be among the first people to see this cover, make sure you sign up for my newsletter on my website. There will be a link in the description down below. Not only will you get access to things like cover reveals before other people, you'll also get news about updates or any giveaways in the future or stuff like that. Just, you know, if you want to keep up with what I'm doing, that's probably one of the best ways to do it. And you'll also get a free companion short story to the Guardians Duology. So just a little incentive there if that's something you're interested in. But anyway, let's open up this box. Hopefully I won't need to go get scissors. Usually these boxes are not taped all that well, but that would just be my luck, wouldn't it? Nope, it's not taped that well, as expected. Whew, okay, no pressure or anything. Here we go. Okay, this is the back. The back looks okay. Oh, goodness. Everything looks perfectly aligned. Let's check the map. Map is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Well, I am quite happy about that. This is not my Amazon copy, so this is an Ingram copy of Lightbringer. I'm gonna replace that at some point, and I don't know what it is. I ordered my initial set of author copies for Lightbringer from Amazon, and it took me 2 weeks to get them. And I've run out of those, or I will tomorrow. So I ordered some more, and it's gonna take another 2 weeks to get to me. I don't know why it would take me that long to get copies of my own book, but I just want to see these two books next to each other. Actually, I'm gonna go get the last Amazon copy of Lightbringer that I have and compare the two. So I will be right back. Bother turning the camera off for this. But, so this is the last Amazon copy that I have. I'm going to sell it to my first grade teacher. She wants to buy it. She said she'd try to get it from me tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, then next week. So I think it's really sweet she wants to buy a copy, but now that I've got these two together here, let me look at them side by side. So book 2 is much thinner than book 1, but that's okay. So for comparison, Lightbringer was 109,000 words and book 2 is 94,000. The previous draft of book 2 was 78,000, and not all of what was in that draft made it into this draft. So I did take things out as well as add in, and I honestly didn't think I added that much to it, but I was surprised that I added almost 20,000 words worth to this new draft. So I'm very pleased with that. Oh, I'm just holding them up. Yeah, I'm very pleased with that. They looked a little off, I think, on the screen, but now that I'm seeing them side by side, oh yeah, this looks pretty amazing. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Also, I have to keep in mind that in order to see like the full details, you take the book out into the sunlight. That really does help with the details. Another thing is that one thing I've noticed about Amazon self-published books is there's these little smudges on the cover, and it's like if the book is dirty or it's been rubbed or smudged or something, and it's not. If you take like a damp washcloth and you rub those areas, they will come off. So much smaller. Can't wait to surprise my coworkers with this tomorrow, because they have agreed to help me proof this. They helped me proof Lightbringer, and they have no idea that this is coming, because I didn't mention anything to them, but yeah, I think they'll be really excited. Anyway, I just can't stop staring at it. This cover for book 2, it's like I love the cover for book 1. Sarah is on the cover of book 1. Sarah is not on the cover of book 2. The character who is on the cover of book 2 is my favorite of all of my characters, and I know you're not supposed to pick favorites among your children, but I do, and this is her, and I am so thrilled by how Coco managed to portray her. She nailed it. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. As far as the cover for my pirate book goes, I don't have any character art for that, and I only have a vague idea of what I want it to look like. For these two books, I had a very specific idea in mind, but I have no concrete thing that I want on the cover specifically for book 3. So I'm eager to let my cover designer Rena just have full reign there and see what she thinks and comes up with, but we're not there right now. We are here. So anyway, I wish I could show you the cover right now, but until I reveal it online, and I won't do that until I have the pre-order link up, so I don't know when it's gonna be. I just know that if you sign up for the newsletter, you will be the first people to see it. So that's all I can really say on that for right now. Today is one of those days where I'm not going to be able to do any writing. It's looking like it's going to be a very busy day up ahead, so I'm just going to end the vlog here. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one, and if you enjoy this video, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you in the next one. My name is Rachel Terry. I am the author of one young adult fantasy novel, Lightbringer, which is out now, and the second one is on the way.